Angelites. It's your boy Angelo's World. Welcome or welcome back to our world. An interview with Joe I don't know how to say his name. Esposito, I think. Life with Elvis Presley. Let's check it out together. Smash that like button. And let's get straight to it.
I don't have to read that just the way it is it?
Didn't she write it? Your ghostwriter wrote it?
You want me to go all the way to lay on the floor in his bathroom? You want me to do that too?
Yeah, to the last word, Graceland.
Okay.
Okay.
My name is Joe Esposito. I was Elvis Presley's road manager and right-hand man and a very close friend of mine. I loved him very much. From the time we were discharged from the Army in 1960 until August 16, 1977, when I tried to bring him back to life as he laid on the floor in his bathroom in Graceland.
Okay, can you do that one more time?
Sure.
Can we avoid that last part? Talking about that day.
No? But wait.
Oh, the last line?
Yeah. That's going to be a preference of the country. Do you want me to try to match your shirt?
Wait, he said, can we avoid the last line because that is the preference of Elvis's. He said, can we avoid the last line because that is the preferences of Elvis's estate. That's ridiculous as shit, bruh. Oh wow, so he can't basically tell his story about how he was there and basically held Elvis in his arms because the estate don't want.
I don't need this.
Ready?
My name is Joe Esposito. I was in the Army with Elvis Presley back in 1958 and 59. And I went to work for him. We got out of the service in March of 1960. And I was his road manager, personal friend, and I loved him tremendously. I dream about it sometimes. Yeah, flashbacks, but not about Elvis being around here today. I don't look at it that way. All right, we're heading for Graceland. Now if I could just find it. It was the first time I came here in March of 1960 when I went to work with Elvis. You know, I never traveled too much when I was young, you know, in Chicago. I spent most of my time in Chicago. And then to be down here in the South was a little strange because all of a sudden I was the only Yankee in the whole group. They probably didn't trust me because I was Italian and all that stuff. So, you know, I just think of all those little things in my life with him, you know. I cannot believe he's been gone for 33 years now. It's just so hard for me to believe it's been that long. You know, he's more popular now than ever. And there's all these young little kids that are big fans of his and just idolize him. And they get so excited just to meet me. And I said, hey, this is just me. Yeah, but you were close friends with Elvis. I said, yes, I was. He was my best friend. They're going to show us around where we think we're the best place to shoot. But like I say, we'll just, like I say, I've lived here.
Hold on a second,
Sorry,
sorry.
my seatbelt. Sorry about that. Hold on. You can't shoot inside Graceland, you know, mostly outside, but you have to have somebody here with you while we're filming all the time because they don't want you to shoot something that they don't think is right. Hey, I got to do an interview on Sirius Radio, Joe Esposito.
You know where to go?
Yeah, I know where to go.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, buddy.
All right.
Save me $10.
Did you ever think you'd be paying to come into Graceland, Joe?
Well, I didn't pay. that plane right here, the Lisa Marie, I bought that airplane. I went to Tucson, Arizona. I knew nothing about airplanes, and I had a guy meet me there that sold planes. And he takes me out to the middle of some airport, and there's lines up, all these jet planes lined up. It's like a used jet parking lot. I called Elvis and told him about it. I said, Elvis, you got to fly down there and see it. And he said, no, Joe, just buy the damn thing. I said, really? You want to see it? Maybe cut a deal or something. He said, no, you can't do that. He said, just buy the damn thing. So we bought it. That was it. That was it.
Mr. George is waiting on you, Mr. Esposito.
Did George wait for me? Yeah, I'm going there right now.
Okay.
Thank you,
George
ladies.
Klein live from Sirius XM Elvis Radio Studios, Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee. It's 12 before the hour, and we promised you, give me some earphones, Big Jim. We promised you a surprise, and I didn't even know he was going to be in town to see you. Jump in. Here he is, Joseph Carmen Esposito. Yeah, all right. Joe, I know a lot of these stories, but the people want to know them. How did you first meet Elvis?
One of his good friends, photographer, the base photographer, became friends with him because he was taking pictures for the Army, and he was a friend of mine. So he said, Joe, this weekend we need some more football players because Elvis likes to play touch football on the weekends. So I go in the house and I walk in the door and he comes walking over to me, and I didn't know what to say, and he walked over and said, hi, I'm Elvis Presley, like I didn't know who he was. Right? So that's the amazing thing about it. This kind of guy. He was a real gentleman. And I shook his hand and we talked, and from that time on, George, I just knew, and you'd have been around Elvis, he had a lot of charisma about him, and something about it, I knew we were going to be friends. We just had a life of our own. I mean, we're all tied up with him and on the road doing concerts and playing Las Vegas and stuff like that, and so our whole life was based around Elvis, and he kept us very busy. I don't think I even read the newspaper in those days. I was at most of his recording sessions after he got out of the service. I was at all those, listening, watching record. I don't think I ever missed one concert in all those years with him. I didn't miss one of them.
Was this, you see how this is all rough?
That's always been that way.
It's always been low like that? Anybody could have jumped over this fence.
Well, we had security here 24 hours a day.
Oh, back then?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. We go down to the gate, look at all the girls, say hello to them, and Elvis would sign autographs, and then we'd invite some of the girls to come up to the house and party at the house. So he was a good attraction. TCB stands for taking care of business. TCB quick, see, like this, the lightning bolt. Taking care of business quick. That was Elvis's logo. Certain little documentaries, certain movies that made about Elvis. There's a guy who plays is Joe Esposito, which is so strange to me.
I found that out. I forgot what video that was that I reacted to when you guys told me that. But it was a while ago. It was when I first started reacting to Elvis.
It just seems so funny that somebody's playing me. So, but hey, like I say, if it wasn't for Elvis, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
All right. Sounds good. Everybody. Okay, we gotta talk about wardrobe now. Now, if you work out like you did on the TV special.
Colonel said, Joe, this is what you do if you got a celebrity like that. Don't overexpose them. Because after you get overexposed, people don't care to know about you anymore. So that's what it was. That's why people were always trying to get Elvis for interviews and stuff like that. So we sort of kept away from it. And it was this very smart move. Very smart, yeah. I mean, some people like to be lonely, but Elvis loved people. So, like I say, it was hard for him just to be around a lot of different people, and that's why he had his immediate group around him all the time. Somebody ended up calling us the Memphis Mafia, and he was always interested in that. And he loved Italian people too. I tell him we used to call him Elvito Presliano. That was his Italian name. Well, he called me the Brain. We used to have these gold bracelets, and our nicknames were all on the back, and the name in the front was Joe, and then in the back it was different names for different one of the guys in the group, and he put the brain on the back of mine, which I felt very, very good about that. I don't know what happened to my brain since then. We used to go to Hawaii 2 or 3 times a year on vacation. We did a lot of traveling. We used to go to Aspen, Colorado, and different places, and people didn't know about all that stuff. Yeah, there was times we got in disagreements, and but it didn't last long. The next day, he'd fire me at different times. And the next day, we had breakfast together. And never says anything else about being fired. And that was just normal.
I wonder if you're lonesome tonight. Someone said the world's a stage and each must play a part. Plus tags. You read your lines so cleverly. You never missed a cue.
Was a little wired one night, and he wanted to go on the Jerry Lewis telethon. We were in Vegas at the time, and he wanted the J.D. Sumner's Dance Quartet. We're on it. We were watching it, and Elvis said, "Joe, I want to go over there and get on the show." I said, and he wasn't in the right mood to do that. So I said, "Elvis, we don't need to go." He said, "Get the limousine, get the car, we'll drive." We were at the Hilton at the time, Las Vegas Hilton. He said, "We'll go get on the show and just surprise everybody." I said, "No, Elvis, I'm not going to do it." "What do you mean you're not going to do it?" I said, "No, I don't think you're in the right mood for that, and it wouldn't be right for you." So we got a big fight. Okay, he was ready to hit me in the face. He picked up an ashtray like he was going to hit me. He said, "Joe, get the car." I said, "No, go ahead and hit me." Oh, we had many interventions with Elvis. Absolutely, many times. Individual one, one-on-one with him. And as a group, we would do it once in a while. We don't have to watch this part, do we?
Okay, I'll try and set the record straight on Elvis's passing away. Phone call comes from upstairs on the intercom. So I ran upstairs, I go into the bathroom, and I see Elvis on the floor. He fell off from the commode. His face was buried in the carpeting, and I bent down real quick, and I touched him, and he was rigor mortis had set in. I called 911, and I said we need an ambulance at Graceland.
The only thing that I might want to change in my life would be, I wish there was a way I could have done something better for Elvis to get him off of that medication. But then the more I think about it, there's not a damn thing I could have done. I was depressed for a long time. I was taking Valium. I took that for a long time. In fact, I got hooked on him. Because we had so many things in our minds that we could do in the future. Elvis wanted to direct movies, and I would have been the producer with him at the time, so we talked about all that too. But never happened.
When you deliver with DoorDash, you get to choose when you do it and when you don't.
Okay, I think I'll do it now.
Now it works, yeah.
But never happened. Never happened.
We call it a trap. I can't walk out
They took off the original guitar lick.
because I love you too much, baby. Why can't you see what you're doing to me? When you don't believe a word I say, we can't go on together with suspicious minds, and we can build our dreams on suspicious minds. With an old friend I know, I'm about to say hello. Would I still see suspicion in your eyes? But here we go again, asking where I've been. You can't
right, you guys. That's the end of this video. The interview with Joe Esposito. I loved hearing about how close they were. And they were close for, what was it? He said since 1958, that's 19 years. From 1958 until 77, that's 19 years. So I could only imagine what he went through, especially since he was the one there and found Elvis face down in his. I can only imagine what he went through. If you guys enjoyed my reaction to this, smash that like button. Comment down below what other Elvis reactions you guys would like to see. And if you do not want to miss any other Elvis reactions I have on the way for you guys, smash that subscribe button and turn on that post notification bell so you can be notified when my next Elvis reaction goes live. And while you're at it, go check out my very last reaction video, my reaction to Elvis Summer of '56. That video will be over here, so go check that out. And I'll see you guys in my next Elvis reaction. I'm out. Peace.